Picture a guy walking out of a building on 57th Street in Manhattan, a building where the average apartment costs $11 million. He's wearing a plain gray jacket. No watch, no logos, no entourage. He's worth $400 million, and he's doing everything he can to make sure you have absolutely no idea. For most of American history, the whole point of having a fortune was making sure people saw it. The wealthy families of the Gilded Age built mansions the size of city blocks to act as physical monuments to their access. A century later, wealth was still an outward performance. If you made it in the 1980s, you bought the gold watches, slapped your name on a skyscraper, and took calls from your car phone. Visibility served as the resume. Then, in a single weekend in September 2008, Lehman Brothers collapsed. $600 billion vanished, and millions of people watched bankers get bailed out while their own neighbors lost their homes. The public reaction was immediate. A $100,000 watch was no longer a symbol of success. It became a lightning rod for resentment. Protesters began actively camping out, pointing their anger directly at the visibly wealthy. The smartest people in the room realized that flaunting money now attracted dangerous scrutiny, so they adjusted their behavior. They traded the flashy logos for unbranded cashmere, opting for a facade of quiet luxury and deliberate ordinariness. Fear of physical harm has turned fashion into a security tactic. Security firms recently reported sharp spikes in home invasions and kidnapping threats, specifically targeting executives whose net worth and addresses were public knowledge. That fear trickled down rapidly to everyday millionaires. Dentists and retired engineers are intentionally driving 10-year-old sedans and clipping coupons, acting out of self-defense to avoid being targeted for loans or hit with frivolous lawsuits. Behavioral camouflage only goes so far, though. To completely disappear from the public eye, wealthy families turn to private firms to erase their personal names from property deeds entirely, utilizing a complex web of legal shell entities. When an advisor facilitates a high-value real estate purchase, they route the transaction through multiple anonymous layers. If a curious neighbor searches county property records, they hit a dead end of random corporate names. This demand for legal obfuscation has fueled an industry of lawyers and trust officers that generates billions in fees. States like South Dakota and Delaware have crafted trust laws offering near total secrecy, allowing hundreds of billions of dollars to be shielded from public view. The physical reality of this system is surprisingly mundane. Look at this unassuming brick building in Delaware. Inside, you won't find a sprawling corporate headquarters. This single address serves as the legal home for hundreds of thousands of hidden companies. This strategy has evolved into a multi-billion-dollar legal apparatus, carefully engineered to make the wealthy invisible to society, the press, and the government. In March 2021, the risks inherent in this architecture surfaced in the form of a man named Bill Huang. He ran a firm called Archegos Capital Management. Because Archegos was legally structured as a family office, meaning it managed a private fortune rather than public money, it didn't have to file standard SEC disclosures. Huang built concentrated stock positions worth tens of billions of dollars entirely in the dark. When that hidden leverage snapped, Archegos collapsed in a single week. The implosion triggered $10 billion in sudden losses, cascading across some of the biggest banks on Wall Street. Regulators, journalists, and even the banks themselves were blindsided. The operation was built to stay invisible so effectively that nobody understood the exposure until the damage was done. Stealth structures protect individuals from scrutiny, but they also introduce systemic, unmonitorable risks that sit quietly at the center of the American financial system. Economists actually have a term for this growing blind spot: shadow affluence. It is clouding our ability to measure wealth inequality in this country. In the past, visible spending on luxury goods and public real estate listings gave researchers a clear metric of where the money was. With those signals disappearing behind LLCs and quiet lifestyles, the gap between the visible economy and the real economy is widening unmonitored. This legal invisibility walked straight into the heart of American democracy, fundamentally changing how campaigns are funded. The same anonymous trusts protecting a family's assets can route political donations. Cash flows from an anonymous node, bypassing standard disclosure checkpoints entirely. Now, hundreds of millions flow into elections from untraceable sources, shaping campaigns by entities voters cannot legally identify. Lawmakers have passed transparency acts to force some shell companies to reveal their real owners. But as data leaks and social media make it easier to expose private information, the wealthy are finding new loopholes to dig deeper into the shadows. For over 2 centuries, the American story was straightforward: work hard, build wealth, and show everyone what you achieved. Today, the strategy has adapted: build wealth, protect it, and hide it. Power is no longer defined by what you can show the world. In modern America, true power is the ability to operate with complete, unaccountable invisibility.